Until it matters no more.
Finally now.
Files all stand and remain standing. This court is now in session, please. On the occasion of this joint ceremonial sitting of the Police Circuit and Family Court of Australia Division 1 and Division 2, the announcement of the appointment of City Council in and for the State of New South Wales.
Mr. Jura.
May it please the court, I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Richard Adrian O'Keefe.
Mr. Jamal.
Please the court, Your Honours. I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend David Jura.
Thank you. Mr. Seymour.
I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Simon Richard Meehan.
Mr. Docker.
As the court pleases, I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Mark Seymour.
Mr. Archie.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Sean Broome Docker.
Thank you. Mr. Eastman.
I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Maria Ann Geraci.
Dr. Kramer.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Nicholas Michael Eastman.
Ms. Barney.
I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Benjamin Raymond Creamer.
Mr. Derhams.
Please, I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Gillian Francis Martin.
Thank you. Mr. Ong.
I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Jamie Shannon Darrams.
Ms. Cook.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Gerald Eng Seng Ng.
Thank you. Mr. El Haj.
Please, Your Honours. I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Kirsten Joanna Edwards.
Mr. Roach.
I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Henry El Haj.
Ms. Gleeson.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend David Philip Barrow.
Ms. Ruffley.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as Senior Counsel in and for the State of New South Wales, taking rank and precedence next after my learned friend Robert Adam Uzeski.
Well, may I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet today, the Gadigal people of Eora Nation, and pay my and the court's respects to elders past and present, also acknowledging the connection they have to the lands and waters of this area. Welcome to everyone to this ceremonial sitting of the Federal Circuit and Family Court of Australia, Divisions 1 and Divisions 2, both courts wanted to and are delighted to acknowledge the newly appointed Senior Counsel for the State of New South Wales for 2023. I especially want to welcome all of your family and friends that have made it so possible for you to be here. Normally, as we grow up, October and November are terrible months. If you think about all those end of school exams, university exams, then other times waiting for offers from university, getting into university, and then of course going through with your family and friends do university exams, and often you're not quite as prepared as you were at school. Then of course job offers and others. But there's always that next step when you become barrister. Finally you have as junior counsel for some time, freedom in November, apart from perhaps the races in Melbourne or other things. That all changes dramatically when you start applying for silk, waiting for that letter, or these days emails, whether someone will turn up on your doorstep in chambers with that particular letter, or you receive an email at 9:05 in the morning, and how that can possibly change your life. So congratulations to all of you. This is a day not just for you, but for your family and friends, and for your friends in the profession. Leaders like Mr. Carney and others, and will remember the days when we all became silk and how delightful it is, but what a special time it is in your life, a time that changes your life in so many ways and that of your family. It is a great, great day for you. I know you enjoyed it yesterday and of course today. Please continue to celebrate and enjoy it for as long as you can until Canberra, until the silk bows in Canberra. And an extraordinary time when you see the national profession, all the leaders around Australia newly appointed, announcing their bows. A national profession which has so much diversity, not just in race or indeed in other ways, but also dramatically between states on who wears a wig or not a wig, long bottom wigs. It is an extraordinary time, but you're all part of a national profession and a special day nationally. So as Ken Hayne once said to me, enjoy it. I can't do his accent because I wouldn't do him, but I certainly say enjoy it. And then the next morning, wake up with a hangover and go out and get a decent brief. Now, can I say that on behalf of the courts, we do congratulate you on your appointment. It's a designation that reflects your expertise, diligence and independence. It also acknowledges that you're seen by your peers and by the courts to demonstrate the highest calibre of ethics, skill and integrity as an advocate. They are really important words. The institution of silk has a proud history dating back to the 15th century in England. Originally, King's or Queen's Counsel were only allowed to represent the Crown. The rationale being that the right of precedence given to them meant that all the Crown's litigation was dealt with first. Luckily for us civil courts, that is no longer the case. And we can similarly be assisted by your expertise in efficient resolution of matters. Whilst the history of becoming senior counsel has been changed over the years, its significance will never be diminished, and the values that embodies it remain incredibly important today. Becoming a silk is a rare and great privilege. It also bears great responsibilities, as I'm sure you've heard over the last couple of days. And an obligation to commit yourself to the highest standards of legal practice every day in and out of court. Indeed, in his swearing-in speech as Chief Justice in 1952, Sir Owen Dixon characterised it this way: "It is the duty of the barrister to stand between the subject and the Crown, between the rich and the poor, the powerful and the weak, and it is necessary that, while the bar occupies an essential part of the administration of justice, the barrister should be completely independent and work entirely as an individual, particularly senior counsel, drawing upon his or her own resources of learning, ability and intelligence, and owing allegiance to none. Our system of justice is synonymous with and dependent upon the role of the independent advocate, from a duty to the court, to ethical and independent conduct, and the duty to one's client. Being an advocate, a member of one of our independent bars, particularly the New South Wales Bar, is not just wearing a wig or gown or being a member of a perceived club. Signing the bar roll and becoming senior counsel means a great deal more. Whether you are junior or silk, your role as an independent advocate is an essential part of making the system of justice fair and equitable. When one enters the courtroom and bows, you are not bowing to a particular judge personally, although some of us occasionally forget that. You're actually bowing to the court and to the system of justice. Your independence requires you to act appropriately, despite the fanciful and somewhat querulous wishes of some of the litigants, or perhaps even some of the instructors. It is that judgment, that independence, that trust that ensures our system of justice will prevail. The institution of silk, as I've said, is so very important. The courts depend upon that independence and on your integrity as an advocate. Now, as members of the inner bar, the responsibility for preserving and perpetuating that independence falls upon each of you. It is fundamental to our system of justice and our rule of law. In addition to this, as part of your responsibilities, the junior bar now depend very heavily upon your example and your guidance, and of course on your leadership in matters in and out of court, in matters of behaviour and of perceived behaviour and expected behaviour. You are now leaders of your fine bar and experts in your field of practice. Be mindful of that example and the example you set personally, and be aware of the importance of mentoring and fostering collegiate and inclusive environments. Your appointment as senior counsel is a recognition of your proficiency in the law and also your embodiment of the finest traditions of your bar. It publicly identifies you as an advocate with whom excellence is expected. Don't feel under any pressure. I have no doubt you will discharge that duty to the court with skill and good temperament and continue to serve the public in an exemplary manner. Both of these courts deal with matters that are varied and complex. In relation to family law, it is important to be aware of the breadth of jurisdiction that intersects family law disputes with other areas of the law. Those disputes frequently involve complex commercial, tax, corporate and financial matters, valuations and trust, bankruptcy, citizenship, crime, evidentiary issues, as evidenced by our complex property list. The jurisdiction of the Federal Circuit and Family Court of Australia Division 2 also includes migration, bankruptcy, industrial relations, administrative law, consumer law, intellectual property and human rights. These are challenging jurisdictions and the court welcomes the expertise of senior counsel. One thing you will find, as of 3 days ago, the matters that you may have already been briefed in or may continue to be briefed in are going to be varied. You may not be briefed necessarily as senior counsel in a matter that you were necessarily familiar with as a junior. Embrace those opportunities. Get a very good junior to make sure you get help, or indeed two if you can. And please come freely to our court. We would welcome your appearance. Once again, I congratulate all of you on a significant achievement of being designated senior counsel in and for the state of New South Wales. You are part of a long and proud tradition. May I especially congratulate your family and friends and colleagues in the profession who have assisted you in this journey to date. Enjoy celebrating this great achievement with them. See you in Canberra. Adjourn the court.
I think that